Can I make this easy breezy, so different flutter sleeve summer top in 2 hours? Let's have a little sewing bee timed sewing session and see how I get on. See you at the machine. Hi there, I'm Christine the Gemini Stitcher and welcome to my little sewing space. Today I'm actually going to do some sewing and we're going to make the top that I've got on, which is the Flutter sleeve top from So Different Patterns. Now this one is one I made on retreat up in Lancaster and it's been made in the cream eyelash fabric. The sleeves are quite voluminous on it. The only thing that I want to change, well, three little things actually. The first one, this centre V didn't quite work. I lined it and I ended up with a bit of a scoop at the centre instead of a point like that, so I need to work on that with this next top. The shoulders are also a little bit off the edge, so I want to bring them up so that they're like that, and then the sleeve will sit better. And the third thing that I'm going to do is play around with the finish on the edge of my sleeves and the bottom of the top. So I have the Baby Lock Ovation overlocker and cover stitch machine and I'm still learning how to use it. Now this machine does the fancy wave stitch which my old Baby Lock didn't do. So we're going to give that a go for the hem finishes. So that is hopefully what my finishes on my sleeve hem and the bottom of the blouse are going to look like. Pink and cream, cute wave design. So this is a fairly easy top to do. It has a tuck at the front which you bring in and sew down, which then creates the V. It's got the huge sleeves in, but that's just a lot of gathering around the sleeve and fitting it into the sleeve head. There are French seams on the front and that means they come up from the hem upwards, which creates shape in the sides of this top. And then I don't know if you can see, but there are fisheye darts in the back as well, which create more shape. So if you look at this pattern, the image, it looks like it could be quite tedious. Is that a word? Quite huge around the middle because of the pleat and because it looks like it's an A-line shape. But the French darts in the front and the fisheye darts in the back give it a lot of shape and it comes out looking, I think, a really nice summer top that's fairly easy to construct. This top is just a pull over the head style top. There's no zips, no buttons to mess with. So reckon I should have this done by lunchtime-ish. Famous last words. Let's have a see how we get on. Now this version, because it was fairly see-through, I lined the bodice, but with this fabric I'm just going to leave it as is and do the facings as the instructions. So let's have a see how we get on. So it's 11:30 a.m. This is our start time and the clock is ticking. I'm doing the facings first and the interfacing on the facings. I'm doing it in the way that I've done it the last couple of times, where I sew the facing to the interfacing right sides together along the outside edge, flip them out and press it, and then I've got a nice neat edge around my facing ready for the next stage. Okay, it's now 12 o'clock, so we're 30 minutes into this sewing challenge And I've got a little update. So we're starting to get what looks like a blouse or a rag. I've put the pleat in the centre front. The fisheye darts are in the centre back, and it says cut them down, trim them down when you've sewn them, and either zigzag or cover stitch. Overlock, sorry, I've zigzagged mine because I think it's a little bit less bulky. I've also sewn the shoulder seams, and I've done those as a French seam, and that encloses all the raw edges. So that's where we're up to. Oh, I've also put the French darts in the front. Next, we're going to attach the facing onto the front neckband, and then it's the sleeves. Coming up for 12:30, so nearly halfway through my 2-hour time slot, and this is where we're up to. So I've got the interfacing in, done my snazzy little trick that one of my lovely viewers told me about with the interfacing, loving that finish. Sewn the facing in, understitched it, and then done some stitching in the ditch at the shoulder seams and the centre front seam to hold that facing in place. I've also pinned a label in that I want to sew in, but I'm going to leave that to the end and see if I've got time to do it in the 2-hour time slot. Next up, the sleeves, as I've already said. So these have got all the gathering stitches put in, and I was humming and hawing how to finish the seams in these sleeves. Do I do French seams or do I bias bind? So we're going to try French seams, even though they're gathered, and see how we get on. Fingers crossed I don't mess it up. It's 1 o'clock and we've got half an hour left to go. So how am I getting on with the So Different flutter sleeve top? Are you ready? It's starting to look very much like a blouse. I'm pleased with my progress. The sleeves are in and I have done them as French seams and it's worked really well. So I've also made a star on the French seams on the side and under the sleeves, and we've pattern matched. Now if you can see, the pattern is all matching up on the sides, which I'm pleased with. So half an hour to go. Just got the second part of the French seams to do on the side seams, and then it's just doing my fancy wavy stitch, fingers crossed it works, on the sleeve edges and the hem. So let's get sewing. Wowza, it's 1:20 and I've finished the top. I've done my fancy schmancy wave stitch along the edge of the sleeves and along the bottom of the top. I'm pleased with the V this time. It's not scooping, it's more of a pointed V. Happy with the fit. Show you the back. So that was just a little experiment because the sewing bee's on, to see if you can actually achieve something in the time limits that they give out for the pattern challenge. Now last week it was making a pair of shorts, so yeah, I've got loads of shorts. So I just thought I wanted to make this top. I'd see if I could do it in 2 hours. Now they got 2.5 hours for those shorts. So we think they're under pressure. Yes, they are, because they're on camera, but it is doable. Now I've done this all with French seams, so it's twice as much sewing. So if you're a beginner sewer, try this frill sleeve top from Sew Different Patterns. It's a nice simple top with a few quirky details in it. The pleat at the front makes it very tummy friendly indeed, and these gathered statement sleeves give it that little bit of oomph, and it's not a plain old boring top. So this is my second one. I see lots of these coming into my wardrobe. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you all tomorrow at Steph's. Bye.